Welcome to Gaur Academy, and this is the series of videos on relationship capacity. And you're wondering, what am I doing in a kitchen? So this kitchen background is all about how relationship capacity is knowing how to cook. So even if someone has access to the finest kitchen, the 5-star kitchen, the state of art appliances, organic ingredients, exotic spices, if you don't know how to cook, the meal might still turn out burnt, bland, or even inedible. On the other hand, a skilled cook can prepare a nourishing, delightful meal, even in a modest kitchen. So similarly, in relationship compatibility, the kitchen setup, which is a compatibility itself, can only go so far. It's your relationship capacity, your inner emotional, spiritual skill, your ability to hold on to Dharma, all these things enhances it. That determines also the quality of the experience you will have in a marriage relationship. I'll take an example of Sukanya from the Srimad Bhagavatam and Mahabharata. She went, somehow karmically, there was this episode that happens. She pricks a stick into a glowing light, and it happens to be Chavana Muni, a very, very qualified sage, but old, and his skin is rotting, and it's like a really not a very easy situation for a prince to marry, but she still marries him because she poked his eye, so it accepts her karma. But what happens later is the miracle. Because she stuck to the dharma, because her capacity in relationship was so strong, she stuck in that relationship because she knew how to cook. She actually managed a very, very old, very difficult kitchen where he was very irritable monk. Chavana Muni was extremely irritable. But somehow or other she tolerated. And then there came a point when the Ashwini Kumaras come, and because of her ability to stay stuck in that relationship and due to the chastity, etc., the benediction happens, the miracle happens, that the Chavana Muni turns to become a young person, and the whole relationship dynamic changes. So this shows this is not just some mythology. This is a truth. When we stick to dharma, when we do our best to not look for happiness but to do our duty, things shift. So I'll give you an example how a woman may meet a partner who checks all the boxes astrologically. Great Jupiter, excellent Venus, great chart, but she doesn't have the healing that is required. Like she has some childhood wounds around trust, around self-worth. So she keeps doubting the love of the partner and then pushing him away emotionally or clinging to the person out of fear. Depends on your attachment style. So eventually the relationship will break, not because of the mismatch, but because of her internal ingredients, her capacity to trust or communicate, receive love. They were undercooked. So therefore, the meal does not fulfill. Another example is a woman who has a chart that shows moderate compatibility with her partner. Their temperament are very different. The Jupiter may be mildly affected, but she's really done deep inner work. She's emotionally self-aware. She's very dharmic. She's spiritually grounded. She's generous in her communication. Over time, what happens is that love, it becomes like a slow cooked stew. So their relationship thrives eventually. And not because of perfect compatibility. It's not like I'll be happily ever after. But because she knows how to cook with what she has, and the capacity of karma increases, maybe she'll have really good children, and the children karma shifts, the relationship, many things can happen in this kind of a situation. Therefore, the compatibility and capacity, they're two different things. Everybody wants compatibility. Am I compatible with this person? Is this compatible? Even if the greatest sage or a greatest billionaire was to marry you, are you really capable to hold that, to fulfill the needs of that person? So that is dependent on the capacity. Like, this is the cooking metaphor explained here. The kitchen setup, the compatibility is like having well-equipped kitchen with fine ingredients, but without cooking skills. You'll burn or bland, or you won't be fed at the end. The cooking skills is a relationship capacity, which is your emotional and spiritual skill. Means you understand your karma, you accept your karma, you work around with, you progress, not digress, because a lot of times people give up partners and then they complicate their karma. So this is also something to be seen. Of course, there are situations where it just is, the person is left by the person. That's also karma as well. So we have to be very careful. In a relationship capacity, we will see how severe is your karma and how you can fix that karma through remedies. And it determines also the quality of your relationship experience in general, regardless of the compatibility. So you may have seen in some places in a village, they have a hole in the ground or a bucket, as you can see here, and they put some firewood, put the fire, cook a meal. And this lady here, she's cooking a meal in Rajbasi. They have just a hole in the ground, pick up fire sticks on the road, She keeps her family happy. And look at this lady. She keeps the whole dynasty happy. She's making rotis with just that one fire, and her capacity to feed the entire family is there. And this lady here, she cooks for the whole village. She cooks with that one pot. She makes the stew or whatever, and she feeds the entire village. So the point is, and this lady runs a restaurant, probably feeding several people, and she even makes money. So they don't really necessarily complain about the kitchen. So it's really about the capacity to cook. If you navigate your understand your relationship capacity, work around that, do remedies. There are so many remedies. There are free, cheap remedies that you can do. There are yagyas that you can perform to improve your capacity to activate certain planets that may be suffering. And also, you can even do Lakshmi Narasimha yagya to bring harmony within a compatibility as well. There are so many ways actually to work around keeping to our dharma, finishing the karma and not repeating the lessons again and again. So ultimately, the question is, do you know how to cook? Even the best kitchen cannot produce a good meal if the cook doesn't know how to cook. So similarly, in relationships, your emotional and spiritual maturity capacity matters. So I hope this has helped in getting a little bit better understanding of relationship capacity and what we will be looking into. If you're looking at reading for relationship capacity, you can watch more videos on this. You can take certain courses that we have that goes into depth so you can understand this concept more, because a lot of people are in ignorance thinking just compatibility, and even in compatibility they only look for Kuta system. I'm making more videos about what to look for in compatibility if you're looking, but this is very important. This education is very important. Where am I lacking? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? How can I improve my cooking skills? So see you in the kitchen somewhere, in some sort of a kitchen of relationships. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any specific questions, you can write in the comments and I will try to answer that question for you, or maybe make a new video on this topic. Thank you very much for watching. Happy cooking. Hare Krishna.